Peace, family. Excuse me. Hello. Welcome back. There's just more news coming out. So I had to go live. I am from my car. This is Thursday, February the 2nd, 2023. And we have more breaking news. The time is 9:54 a.m. First of all, I want to say thank you all so much. Since my last live that I just did early this morning, you all have been blessing me with super chats, super stickers. You've been blessing me with cash apps. So thank you so much. And I want to send a special thanks to Joseph Elam. Joseph, you said you needed to contact me. My email address is kiapruitt@gmail.com. So many people are reaching out to me because the live that I did this morning. Thank you. We had breaking news this morning at about 7 o'clock. Actually, it came out, and that was around 3 o'clock p.m. over in Iraq, where Al Sudani, the new prime minister, announced that he needed for the Iraqi people to actually drop the United States dollar and to invest in or hold on to the Iraqi dinar. And he said that he was revaluing dinar, that he was making his country stronger and making his currency stronger. So he wanted the people to all commit to maintaining their faith in the currency. So that was this morning out of Iraq with Al Sudani, the prime minister. But just recently, just a few minutes ago, I got something else that came across to my desk. Somebody said, you got to listen to this, where now news is coming out from Iraq that they will increase the Iraqi dinar even more. So on yesterday, Al Sudani said he would increase it, return it to its original state, which was $3.48. And now this breaking news is coming out that the new rate may increase to $3.90 or more. So great rising, Sherry. Hello, great rising, David. It's so good to see you all. So again, this morning, we talked about how Al Sudani had spoken to the Iraqi people and said, do not purchase the United States dollar, do not hold on to the dollar, but to hold on to the Iraqi dinar, because he was making the dinar strong and revaluing that currency. And he also said that they needed to have faith in their country and faith in their currency. So that was on the heels of yesterday, or maybe 2 days ago, where I reported that Al Sudani has said that that rate would be $3.48. So I wanted to show you all what came out this morning, and I'm going to bring this video up to you for you to look at and for you to keep for your own, just for your own purposes. This YouTube channel is Technical Asadullah. I follow this person. He gives some Iraqi information. And so, listen, I'm only reporting what I hear in the news. It's up to us. Actually, it's up to us to use our own discernment to detect whether or not this information is true. So let's listen to what he said. Wonderful things are happening for us. I'm excited. I'm positive. I know it's going to happen, and we're ushering in this new paradigm. So let me get to this video so you can hear it. I'm going to push mute, and then I'm going to play it. If you want to look at this yourself, go to the 1.05 minute mark. So that's the 1 minute and 5 second mark. And I'm going to play it up to the 3 minute mark, or 3:01, so you can hear what they say. So peace, family. Welcome. Thank you for coming back. Let me do that for you. I'm going to push mute, and then I'm going to play it so that you can hear the video.
Have seen $3.70 to $3.90. The rate that must have reported seeing in $3.81. The first is a prospective decision that may reduce the dollar against the dinar and restore my confidence for the dinar and the issue of dealing with it. As for the second explanation, the Sudanese wants to reduce the demand for the dollar, especially with informal dealers who do not go to the window to sell the currency, but rather go for a company, for exchange companies, the parallel market. What I found out through my conversation is that they must stop the corruption, and now they are talking gold. They are talking bold steps to allow any foreign currency, including the dinar to pay outside debits to other countries. Question: how long will this take to make an impact? Answer is: I was told they expect a couple weeks at most, since most merchants already have dinars. They will probably pay in dinars. The other countries already.
So can you all hear me now? Hopefully you can hear me. It's important that, yes, we use our discernment. However, I'm very encouraged because, as I stated, this news is actually coming from that region where they're saying that they're going to revalue the dinar. Originally, they said the normal state or the original price or a value, which was $3.48. But now they're saying that they may raise it up to $3.90. And the reason why I'm encouraged about this information is because my mentor told me in 2017, and he was a part of the farmers' claims. So he was a part of the farmers' claims that actually took the United States corporation to court, took the Federal Reserve to court for all of the nefarious activities that they had done to the farmers, and their claim that they actually won led to the National Economic Security and Reformation Act and the global version of that, the Global Economic Security and Reformation Act. And it was determined that the bankers had exacted usury and used nefarious banking practices against the farmers, and not only the farmers, but to we, the American people, and indeed to the entire world. So when Nasara comes online, excuse me if it sounds like I'm yelling. When the Nasara comes online, then the bankers have to be paid out first, and then the rest of the world. So the reason why I brought up my mentor is because he was part of the farmers' claims, and he told us that there were people from white hats of the military, which were the benevolent faction of the military that was selected, and other people who were fighting to end corruption all over the world came to the farmers and told them that those people who had currencies and expected them to revalue, their currencies would revalue after the republics all over the world were restored. So, in order to do that, they had to get rid of all the thank you, all the negative, corrupt prime ministers, elected officials, presidents, even CEOs of banking and all that. They had to get rid of them first, and then they would return the republics or the natural, lawful government of people all over the world. And then once that happened, then people who have currencies would be able to go to the financial institutions. Thank you, Diana, and get a return on their investment. But my mentor told me, because back in the day, they were just saying the dinar will only revalue to 15 cents. You would get a return rate of 15 cents on your dinar. And people were really excited about that. But my mentor told me, stay the course, stay focused, be encouraged, because the dinar will have to be reinstated to its original value, but it will increase more. He said people are not taking into account that we will have the gold standard brought into fruition all over the world. And when you have all these countries having their currencies, I mean, their gold, their precious metals, and their resources back online, and they've returned them back to their countries, then all of those resources will back those currencies. So what my mentor told me was that actually the dinar would revalue to 100. I know it sounds astronomical, but $100 to 150 per dinar. So I'm just watching this. I'm just watching this go. Yes, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, share the video. Thank you so much. I'm watching this play out because you're going to watch the value of the dinar increase more and more and more. Yes, I've heard of the Chinese railroad bonds. Thank you so much, but I don't know much about it, so I appreciate you bringing that to our fruition. Now, family, what I forgot to tell you this morning, thank you all for being here, family, was that, yes, great days ahead. Listen, I'm supposed to be going to an appointment, but I had to give you this breaking news that the rate will increase. But I forgot to tell you that in 2018, I had Googled, is the Iraqi dinar gold backed? And I can't even tell you what made me do that, because I had been seeing so much information about Iraq and Zimbabwe and China and all these countries working together. So when I'm gonna bring up some articles to show you how China, Zimbabwe, and Iraq, they've been working together. So actually, Putin, number 45, and Iraq, and who else? Xi Jinping, they've been working together to restore all these countries back to the gold standard. America, what about America? America is right now, we have two systems operating side by side. That is the nefarious system that has to be demolished. And when all these countries dump the dollar back into America because they're leaving the United States dollar, which actually ends our hegemony, United States hegemony, and the dollar reserve currency status, the petrodollar status. When they dumped all those dollars here, excuse me, that brought the value of the dollar even more down, even more. And as the dollar devalues, gold and silver rises. But that's a whole nother discussion. So once the dollar came over here, it brought the dollar down. So the dollar was already had devalued 98%, and it had lost 98% of its purchasing power. So now essentially it doesn't have any purchasing power, which is why inflation is so high, prices are so high. So they're demolishing that system. So all of the dollar and all dollar denominated assets would plunge to near zero once all these countries dump the dollar. And Jim Rickards said what will happen is then you will have what's called an ICE 9 scenario. An ICE 9 scenario is essentially, it comes from a book where there were streams of water that were leaking out. And when these streams of water came out of this area, everything that the water touched froze. So Jim Rickards said we're going to experience a ICE 9 scenario, which means that once everybody dumps the dollar back into the country, which Al Sudani told his people this today to dump the dollar, and everybody is doing it anyway. I've mentioned many times that all exporting nations have dumped the dollar. What will happen is everything's plunging to zero because at the end of every empire, this happens anyway. And this is a part of Project Sandman, which is an agreement that 209 countries will return to the United States dollar. So at the end of every empire, they spend up all the credit, they print up a whole lot of money, and then they use up money. They just spend all this credit, which is why there's my friend Matthew. I love you, Matthew. You about to make me fall in love. You be taking care of a sister. Thank you, Matthew. I appreciate you. Creator bless you and your family. And I thank you so much for all of your contributions. Once the dollar is decimated and it loses its purchasing power, everything that's tied to it, all the dollar denominated assets plunge to zero overnight. So again, countries, he said, hello, folks. Hello, my friend. So the countries, like I said, at the end of every empire, they spend the money, they rack up the debt, they print as much money as they can, and then they demolish that system and go over to a gold back system, which is a sound monetary system. Grand Rising, Sister Kim. So this is why it was important for they haven't heard of it. Yeah, some of them have heard of Basel 3 and 4. You have to actually talk to a branch manager or somebody that's high up. And then some of them are not allowed to say yet because if they answer that question, people will rush to the banks. So this is why they say they don't know the answer to whether or not their banks are Basel 3 and Basel 4. But Janet Yellen, the United States Treasury Secretary, made an announcement on a Thursday, January the 19th, that we've reached a debt ceiling, we've reached a debt limit, and in order to rectify that, they will have to take extreme measures to dip into the retirement investments of postal workers and government workers. So that's basically she trying to let you know that we might have to do some very extreme, nefarious things in order to redeem ourselves. But basically that system is being demolished while meanwhile what's happening is the gold standard is online, which is why Representative Alexander Mooney introduced House Resolutions 5404 under President Trump in 2018 and reintroduced that as the Gold Restoration Act as House Resolution 9157. He did that in October. And it's also why several states have already introduced legislation here in America or passed legislation to define the dollar as a fixed weight in gold and to use silver and gold as legal tender. So America is actually in agreement. We're online with what's going on, but there are two systems going on at the same time. You have the fake administration that's doing these nefarious things, rate hikes, um, uh, tormenting these countries, putting sanctions on them. And then you have 45 and the white hats working at the same time to restore the gold standard. And you have the GOP Republicans like Alexander Mooney bringing back the gold standard because listen, when the Republicans returned, we're already on the gold standard because that's what the Constitution says, that you can only use silver and gold as money. So, but they have to bring these things online little by little to encourage the people and to let them know what's happening or transition them into this information. I haven't heard anything about the dong except for they've been thriving since the global shutdown. Thank you. So, it's happening, and this is also why the GOP is voting against the IRS because that's another function, of Nasara to end the IRS. And instead of making us pay taxes, you will only pay one flat tax on non-essential big ticket items. So I've produced articles to let you know that they are fighting against the IRS and demolishing it. You're welcome. Along with demolishing the IRS and the Federal Reserve. And that is why 45 put the duties of the Federal Reserve and the IRS underneath the United States Treasury. So now when you get letters from the IRS, it'll say at the top, the United States Treasury. So everybody has to do what they're told by the white hats. On one hand, it looks like everything's being demolished because it is. So protect yourself. And if you desire to roll over your assets into precious metals, contact Andy Scheckman, info@milesfranklin.com, and let them know that you're interested and let them know that Dr. Kia Pruitt referred you so that you can get the press prices. Thank you. Oh, thank you so much, Brother Eric. I really appreciate that. So here we go, family. I wanted to bring this article up to you. Actually, what happened, was in 2018. Let's see, I became aware that we were returning to the gold standard actually in 2017. And that's when I've been doing some deep diving into that. Prior to that, I had a group actually that I helped to found. It was called ACH Group, and we were teaching people how to offset their debt, actually using their social security number, which is actually a bank account number. I don't know if that was right or not, but we were doing it. We had 100,000 members of our group. So this was in about 2016, I want to say, where we really were helping people. And then people actually were able to pay off their debt. And so many people around the world were doing it that the government caught on and they got upset and they started reversing those charges. So that was in 2015, 2016. I helped start that group on Facebook and they shut it down many times. We had over 100,000 people. Then in 2017, I started studying the gold standard like at length. And then in 2018, something moved upon me to check and see if the Iraqi dinar had revalued. So I brought this article up because it's important for you all to know that a lot of things that you're reading, this is old news. You're seeing things happen now because the normies are now able to handle it. But listen to what this says. I Googled, is the Iraqi dinar gold backed? And this was 2017, 2018. And I'm so glad I kept this. I screenshot it. I sent it to my friend Patrick Hawkins, who goes by Metroid. His name Metroid. I sent it to him. He's my homie from Cleveland. I was like, Pat, check this out. And thankfully, he saved it because when I lost it, he was able to give it back to me. Woo! Thanks, Pat. So 2018, it says the Iraqi dinar is backed by gold now. And the currencies issued backed by gold are considered one of the most powerful currencies in the world. Moreover, the currency is supported by $82 billion cash reserves and 122 tons of gold reserves, along with many other foreign bills that make it stronger in the foreign market. Now, remember, I was telling you this morning that Al Sudani has said that he wanted the people to keep their faith in the Iraqi dinar because he was making it stronger and he was revaluing it and he was bringing the value back to the country by building up the railroads and just building up the country. So that was in 2018, and I was reporting that 2017, 2018. The dinar is already backed by gold, but it was happening behind the scenes. And I'm going to show you a few more articles of what was going on 2018 of, because again, Xi was working along with Putin and 45. Matthew says Chas Carter and Charlie Ward on the Morning and Charlie show named many more BRICS nations: Vietnam, Iraq, Venezuela, Zimbabwe, and more. Absolutely. 85% of the world has returned to the gold standard, and I've been naming all of the countries for months, and I'll show you that. So what I did was I asked Andy Scheckman on one of my videos, like, do you know that 85% of the world has returned to the gold standard? And he said, have left the USD, and he said absolutely. And then what I did was after he said that, I went on live and I named all of the countries. So I'll get back into that. Charlie Ward is right. I've been reporting that since October, that many countries were leaving the United States dollar. Thank you, Matthew. You are absolutely right. I'm so glad you caught us. So a lot of this have actually, yes, 126 countries and more have agreed, according to Project Sandman. Is actually it says 100 plus countries have agreed, but we knew long ago from my mentor that it was actually all countries had agreed. No, I haven't seen that. So let me show you, like, a lot of this stuff that we're learning right now actually is old news. You know, they're explaining it and talking about it when people are able to receive it, or what they say, the normies. Look at this article, the Silk Road briefing. And this article talks about China and Russia working together. So remember, I told you the Iraqi dinar, according to Google anyway, had revalued in 2018. And it was the news, the information that I had anyway. So this article came out January 11th, 2018. You're seeing things happen now because it's a movie that we've been watching based on what they agreed upon a while ago. So in 2018, China, Russia combined gold reserves to establish a new gold standard. 2018, they're calling it the Silk Road briefing, and that was on silkroadbriefing.com. Excuse me, I am extremely thirsty. China and Russia have been quietly accumulating gold as a reserve to back up their currencies in the future, according to Ronan Manley of Singapore's Bullion Star. This is likely to be a part of a design strategy to move away from international trade dominated in United States dollars, backed by gold reserves, although there is some disquiet about how much gold the United States has in its reserves, including amounts held on behalf of other countries such as Germany and France. China and Russia have been aggressively accumulating their official gold reserves over the last 10 to 15 years. They've been planning this. So if anybody tells you the gold standard is not real, these countries did not agree, they just don't know the information. This article, again, was printed in 2018. So Manley said, he said, adding that only a decade ago, each of them held around or less than 400 tons. But now both of these nations had a combined amount of 3,670 tons of gold. Interestingly, both Russia and China, remember I told you, Putin of Russia, Xi Jinping of China has been working with 45 to usher in the republics, the lawful government of all these countries. They've been working together to get rid of corruption and get rid of these people that were in power and demolish the deep state, and Russia working together to bring in the gold standard. Russia and China both publicize and promote their accumulation of gold and publicly refer to gold as a strategic monetary asset. They make no secret about this. But on the flip side, the United States does the opposite and constantly downplays the strategic role of gold. But gold is the only strategic monetary asset that could provide independence from the United States dollar. And China and Russia could both conceivably be holding a lot more gold than they declare in their official reserve due to many channels through which they could buy the precious metal. So again, gold is the only strategic monetary asset that will provide independence from the United States dollar. And this is why when they started, thank you so much. I appreciate you, Brother Dennis. God Creator bless you. Thank you for the offering. So when these countries started leaving the USD, again, you all know it was triggered by Putin leaving the United States. The United States dollar, when 46 sanctioned him for going over in the ukulele, then he led the BRICS Union to do that. Brazil, Russia, India, and China to do that. And then Saudi Arabia did that. And our agreement with Saudi Arabia is what made the United States have the world reserve currency status. And the United States dollar was the world reserve currency. But when Saudi Arabia then left and all these other countries left, people would tell you, once we started reporting that this was happening, oh yeah, they're dumping the dollar. But they would not tell you that they were returning to the gold standard. I don't know what the big secret was. They might say, oh, they're using commodities, or oh, they're going to use a basket of currencies. Even the articles would not say they're returning to the gold standard. Listen, I ain't never scared. I'm not scared. I'm a courageous woman. When I know something, I know something. I vet my sources, and I'm not even afraid of being wrong. So if the Creator inspires you to do something, this is an aside, do it. Do what you're called to do. Exercise your gifts, your callings, your talents, and be courageous about it. Don't be afraid of making a mistake, because mistakes can be corrected. Just stand firmly on your 2 feet and state what it is you have to state, and do what it is you have to do, because this is what you were created to do. So I reported back then they're returning to the gold standard, and now we see that they've been talking about it actually behind the door, behind closed doors. So that was a 2018 article. Yes, he's cleaning out the evil over it. Thank you, Vin. And but the media, the United States media, would make you think that he's over there doing something nefarious. They've brought a lot of their people. I'm sorry, I'm parked, but I need some air. A lot of their people over here, they're telling us that, he's doing some nefarious activities that must be stopped, when in fact he's cleaning it out. He is cleaning out the laundering of money, drugs, humans, children that's been going on over there. And the media doesn't want us to know that. But we know that he's doing a benevolent job. And this is why 46 put a sanction on him. But he just clapped back on that tail and said, you can sanction me all day long, but I'm still going to do what I was, what my, thank you. I'm going to do what I was commissioned to do. And essentially, once 46 put sanctions on him, he just left the United States dollar, which inspired everybody else to do the same. So if you remember when I told you about Project Sandman, I said, yes, today is a good day. No, you don't have to trust them, but I understand. I do get that the white hats are behind them, and are maybe forcing them or compelling them, and the Nasara white knights. So you have benevolent beings that are on the planet that's behind the humans, helping them to usher in our new golden era. So when Putin left the United States dollar, that was the trigger. Because remember, according to Project Sandman, when triggered, all the countries had agreed that they would leave the United States dollar and return to the gold standard. So that trigger was Putin clapping back on 46 and dumping the dollar for trade and going towards a basket of currencies backed by commodities, silver and gold, and going toward using gold for trade. So that was the trigger. And actually, Putin had made an announcement in 2018 that he was going to the gold standard. I have to find that article for you. I do have that somewhere in my archives. And then finally, yes, we're going to raise our vibrations. Thank you. I want to show you something else. Oh, the Zimbabwean dollar is backed by diamonds, it's backed by lithium, it's backed by gold, it's backed by all the resources that they have in that country, which is why we saw that deleted scene in the Black Panther movie where the Black Panther was talking about using, I think they call it vibranium, which was like some kind of mysterious precious metal or precious resource. He said we're going to use it to liberate humanity. And remember, the European guy was laughing. This was the deleted scene of the Black Panther movie, Black Panther 1. He was laughing like, yeah, right, your little bitty country, your nation, you're going to liberate humanity. But that was a signal for us who were awake, and of those of us who were working behind the scenes to report on this news and this information. That was a signal for us that Zimbabwe was about to come back strong, because the Wakanda was also symbolic of Zimbabwe utilizing their resources to liberate humanity. And so you see that actually being a reality when people are buying the Zimbabwean Zim bonds, and they're buying the what else? The agro checks. Then everybody's agreeing with you, Vin. So here, update you. Any family, do you have any information on a Zimbabwean Zim? We've heard it'll be 1-to-1 in terms of the redemption of it. If you look at the top left hand corner, I think it is, it'll say this is a promise to pay the bearer upon demand, because it's a bond. It's a government bond on bond paper, so it will redeem, and some people are saying it will redeem 1-to-1. Now, that's a lot of money, which is why people say you should make sure you do humanitarian projects. It would be nice if you do humanitarian projects if you have the Zim. But having said that, and keeping in mind that that's a lot of money, if you have like $100 trillion notes, or in those big notes, they might lop off some of the zeros. Sometimes they do that when they revalue currencies that have been significantly devalued. They might lop off some of the zeros and then revalue it 1-to-1, which is still good news because that is a lot of money. So, hi, Sister Phyllis. Now, we showed you that the dinar, according to Google in 2018, was backed by, backed by gold. We showed you that the rate may go up to $3.90. Let me show you this. I keep telling you that a lot was going on in 2018 behind the scenes, and I had these articles and I was reporting on it, but I looked like a nut when I was reporting this. This was April 2018. Because nobody knew, not, I don't want to say nobody, but the masses didn't know it, because everybody kept saying that gold was a relic. Even economists were saying gold is a relic. All you people that are saying we're going to move to the gold standard, absolutely. That's why they're cleaning out the ukulele, because a lot has been happening with our children. And if you looked at my video that I did with Chief Rod Hayes, he's so-called, what people would classify him as an African American brother, but he's indigenous to the land. Chief Rod Hayes said that when the Europeans came over here to seek refuge to our country, that we welcomed them here. That's why I said we haven't been taught real history. We don't know. We only know the division that they've shown us and taught us. We welcomed them here because they were trying to escape the British, or the brutish Moors, the British Brutus Moors. Those are the people, they were brown, melanated beings that actually were in Europe and controlled that part of Europe, Spain, Europe, Britain, all those areas. And it's interesting that when they got kicked out of Spain in 1492 is exactly when Christopher Columbus, came to America. 1492. By the way, many articles and sources are saying that Christopher Columbus was actually a Moor or a brown skinned brother. So I'm telling you, they lied to us so much to cause this division and fighting and so-called racial division. So the reason why the Europeans came, according to Chief Rod Hayes, please look at that video, to America to find refuge was because of what they were doing to the children over there. And he showed us receipts of statues of these Moorish looking melanated beings who were actually ingesting the babies. So the same reason they got kicked out of Europe is the same reason we're kicking them out of America. So many of them you've been taught look like they're light complected, but a lot of them are actually brown skinned beings. Or what they did is they presented themselves as brown skinned beings and they infiltrated America to look like the indigenous people who were here already. And if you read the book, They Came Before Columbus by Dr. Ivan Van Sertima, you will know that he gave an account of how the indigenous people here were actually the copper colored people. If you look up the 1828 definition, and I'm going to get out of here soon, of American, it will say the copper colored people. 1828 Webster's definition of American, the copper colored people found here by see me or okay, we're back. So Americans were originally copper colored people, and then we allowed our European brothers and sisters to come here. They mixed and made it with us, and now we're just, all Americans. We're one people. So let me show you this. That's a whole nother lesson. You can look at my video with Chief Rod Hayes. 2018, April the 4th, Zimbabwe and China signed multiple memorandums of agreements or understanding. Zimbabwe and China signed a memoranda of understanding that will expedite the country's social economic recovery under the new dispensation. 2018, the Minister of Finance signed agreements of economic and technical cooperation between the Chinese government and Zimbabwe. So they said they would give them food assistance, supply of high performance computers, availability of experts from China in various fields, and drilling of an additional 500 boreholes in Zimbabwe. I'm just showing you this to let you know that this is not new information. This is all planned. They agreed to all do this. And then we had articles that came out that said that China and Zimbabwe had an agreement in 2018 for China to help Zimbabwe mine all the gold that's underground. And they were doing this in preparation for the return to the gold standard. Now, that part they didn't add, that they were doing it to in preparation of the gold standard. But I wanted to bring you all this just to let you know a lot is going on now in the forefront, but this had been planned behind the scenes. And when they triggered, when there was a trigger for Putin to leave the United States dollar and go to the gold standard. I don't know if I did this one already. That made the Russian ruble a very strong currency. So currencies are revaluing. That's what I'm trying to tell you behind the scenes, and they're just not saying it. But you can look up the article that says that the ruble was the highest performing currency, like about October-ish, because it's backed by gold. Finally, my friends and family members, I'm just showing you how this is orchestrated. This has been going on for a long time. They just didn't tell you. I have been reporting this, in 2018, but a lot of people didn't know it, and I kept many of those articles. This is globalpressjournal.com. Look at the date. The story you are reading was published on Friday, January the 26th, 2018. Zimbabwe, gold rush. The promise of Chinese money spurs Zimbabweans to dig. 2018. Zimbabwean's government says China has poured millions of dollars into the gold mining industry, but it's nearly impossible to tell whether that money makes its way to miners. Even so, the lure of Chinese funded grants and loans has Zimbabweans unearthing increasingly more gold. 2018. This has been going on since 2018, actually before that. 8 years into her small business, EM is a success story. This widow strode into what was at the time considered a man's industry, gold mining. She did. This person here, this widow, And by 2016, she had earned public accolades from the Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe, which manages the country's gold. Now, nearly 2 dozen people work at her mill, including a full time management team. She asked that her identity be protected because of crimes against people who are successfully in the gold mining business. So, what I'm trying to tell you is this has been an orchestrated plan to demolish the Federal Reserve System. This is why number 17 said, we have the gold, and gold will destroy the FED, because we have gold all over the world. You have gold in different countries that have repatriated their gold back to them. You have gold. Follow Bix Weir on the road to Ruta.com or his Road to Ruta YouTube channel. Specifically, go to his website, because he talks about how there are thousands, if not millions, of tons of gold actually in the Grand Canyon. And the reason why I stored there is because the United States of America is Egypt. We are the cradle of civilization. That's why you see tombs all over the place, pyramids all over America, the Americans, treasures, all of that. We have the gold, and gold is right now destroying the FED. So, family, I just wanted to bring that information to you again. Let me summarize that we had breaking news early this morning about 7 o'clock out of Iraq that Al Sudani had told his people that he's strengthening his currency. He's rebuilding his country. He wanted the people to commit to support their own currency, the Iraqi dinar, and to leave the United States dollar, and to commit to being faithful to their own progress. And he said, by doing this, by being faithful to and committing to our own currency and our own country, which I'm making stronger, you are also supporting the progress of other countries. And I said earlier today when I reported that around 8:30 that I agree with him. When the Iraqi people stopped buying the USD, whether on the black market or whatever, and all these other countries left the United States dollar, that allowed the currencies to come flooding into America, which brought up our interest rates and high inflation and all of that, which then forces the white hats to do something, or force the people in power to demolish the system. Because again, at the end of every empire, and we know the United States Incorporated is already bankrupt and defunct, they just won't tell you. They only told you January the 19th that we've reached the debt ceiling of 31.445 trillion dollars, but the debt ceiling actually is about 91 or 100 trillion dollars. And we also know, in order to pay off the debt, you have to revalue gold to be between $80,000 to $100,000. So gold will revalue. So at the end of every empire, they spend the money, they print up as much money as they can, they rack up all the debt, and then they crash the system and move to a sound monetary system. They call that a crack boom. So we see a demolishing of that defunct system and their currency, the USD, happening before our eyes. At the same time, what I say, they crack boom, demolish that system, and then gold and silver, precious metals, real money explode. And I've showed you article after article that said gold will boom, because as the dollar devalues, what happens to gold and silver? Gold and silver increases in value. So let me see if I can find one article. Yes, I don't know why my computer is acting up. So when I look up something, they'll take me to the site and then take me away from the site. But look up gold will boom in 2023. And the reason for that is because, like I said, gold and silver is real money. So when the dollar devalues, and it is doing that now with all these countries leaving the USD, gold and silver has to revalue. They keep taking me to another site. So let me go here. Are there any questions, family, before I leave? Let me see. Gold and silver will boom. Any questions? Gold boom. 20, and I have to go. I'm on break right now. Yes. So here's an article. I'm going to show you one article that came out in 2020. In December. Let me show you an article that came out in December that said gold and silver will boom. I've shown you that before, but it's just nice to have that reiterated from time to time. Um, I just got a message from our good friend Andy. He will be on in a couple shortly. I want to say a few days. So let me show you this article that says gold and silver will boom in 2023. It's important to know that because this is a way for you to protect yourself against inflation, because gold and silver or precious metals are a hedge against inflation. So this is the final article that I'm going to bring up to you today. Somebody said they're so frustrated. Oh, you get so frustrated when nobody believes you about Putin. Yeah, they just don't know. They believe the mainstream media. Let's see. Yes, yes. When we return to the gold standard, you will be able to take your United States dollars, your USD, and trade them 1-to-1 for the new currency. Thank you for asking. That was a perfect question. Um, Somebody said yes, and many other outstate. Thank you, Matthew, for helping our family members out. Let me show you this last article. Family, if you desire again to get precious metals, consider Miles Franklin, A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. No complaints. Miles Franklin has had zero complaints in all the 33 years. They are one of the only companies that actually are certified to sell products from the United States Mint, and that's a very high honor and accolade. So email him info. Thank you, Spirit Walker. You're so kind. I appreciate you. info@milesfranklin.com. So I'm glad you all are helping each other answer questions. Penelope, I sincerely appreciate you. Thank you so much for the super chat. Uh, yes, the Kuwaiti dinar revalued actually in 1991, and I showed you all that article today. So let me show you this about gold and silver. Then I need to get out of here. Let's see. Here we go. Gold and silver ready to explode. This article came out, I want to say December 14th, 2022. It says gold is ready to explode. 2023 will be a commodities boom, Todd Bubba Horowitz said. So it doesn't matter what people say when they say it's not going to happen. We don't know what we're talking about. Like I said, they have to revalue the gold in order to pay off the debt. And we know that we're trillions of dollars in debt. Just to pay all the debt on the books and plus Medicaid, Medicare, Social Security, Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, and all the debts on the book, you have to revalue gold to at least $80,000 an ounce, between $80,000 and $100,000 per ounce. So let's look at what this article says. Thank you all for indulging me and listening and supporting the channel. Please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and share the video. The gold price held steady despite Wednesday's announcement of a 50 BPS hike in the federal funds rate. The precious metals ending the day trading at $1,802 per ounce, down only by $5.30 over the day. This was in December. But these price movements signal that gold has a significant upside. That means we're about to see gold go bullish, according to Todd Horowitz, editor of BubbaTrading.com. Gold feels as the silver and platinum like they want to explode to the upside, he said. They're not waiting for an event, but an opportunity to attract some new money buyers that will push them out of these ranges that they've been trading at for quite a while. I think 2023, we're going to have a commodities boom, and that includes the hard asset commodities of gold, silver, and platinum. He predicted, in addition to previous metal performing well, that 2023 will be a general commodities boom. So again, at the end of every empire, they spend up all the debt, they print up all the money, and then they crash that system and they move to a sound monetary system, which is a system backed by gold. Thank you, Race Caps. You newly found our channel. I appreciate that. You love what I'm doing. Thank you so much. That means a whole lot to me. You want to let me know about a debt cancellation. Woo! Woo! Thank you for sharing that. Your wife received a 1099 from a small PayPal account. At the bottom of the page, it said debt canceled. So thank you for sharing that, because a lot of people have said to me, I don't believe it. It's not happening for me. Why isn't it happening? It's happening, family. I don't know why it's happening slowly for some, and then maybe it'll be just a rush all of a sudden, but it is happening. I appreciate you sharing that. Thank you so very much. So a lot of people may be asleep, but we're waking them up. Thank you, new Asar L. Creator bless you for your love offering. Thank you for thank me for my honesty and integrity. You know what, brother? Is that new Asar? I'm assuming your brother, because Asar the name, or my family, soul family member. I wrote out my vision and mission statement, and I revisit it often. And part of my vision statement, and I encourage everybody to write a vision statement for yourself. That's a statement that describes where you see yourself going. And write one for yourself, write a vision statement for your family, and write a vision statement for your business or businesses. Also, write a mission statement for yourself, for your family, and for your business or businesses, because that will set the standard for your life. And so, Asar, thank you for talking about integrity. Oh, I'm sweating. I got to get my eyebrows done. I'm about to go get some treatments done to myself. But part of my vision statement, your statement should be future oriented, and it should talk about what you intend to do, or where you see yourself or your family or your business is going in the future. And I did a whole video on that. Part of my vision statement is that I will be, and I'm a leader, and this is I'm just off the top of my head, a leader. I will lead and serve humanity and my family with honor and integrity. So, to your point, thank you. That lets me know I am being true to my vision statement. And I also wrote a mission statement about what my purpose in life is, and what the purpose of my family is, the vision for my family. So I appreciate you so much for bringing that out and for blessing me. You are helping me to see that I am indeed living out my vision and mission statement. Medical debt will be canceled. We have to be patient, family. It's happening. It's happening slowly, but the big tranche of money will probably happen under 45. So they're getting rid of this current administration. I reported on that yesterday, and the name of that was, and you know what? They put limited ads on that. And when I went back to look at the video, I didn't see any ads. I don't know why, but the name of that was, I had to like say the like that. Arrest and impeachments, charges, and new money, something like that. But in that article, I was just talking about how they're getting rid of this administration and all the nefarious, in that podcast, all the nefarious beings, in order to usher in the new gold standard and our new reality. So thank you all for helping each other. Peace, love, and light. Oh, wait. Somebody said, ooh, Moody Pet 8 had a debt canceled, a medical debt canceled. All right. Thank you for sharing that. Buenos dias. I appreciate you being here. Buenos dias. Let's see. Ooh, 840,000. What was that? 840,453,972. I don't know what that was. So we're celebrating with Moody and with everybody. Somebody said, save your old nickels and all your change, because all metals will explode. And remember, your change is minted by the United States Mint, which makes it very valuable, because that's what the mint is supposed to do. So thank you for that. Save all your change. It will do well. And I'm glad you found us, and I'm glad that you're aligned with us, because what I feel and I know is that a lot of our soul family members, thank you so much, we're finding each other. We're vibrating on high frequencies, and we are attracting each other. So I also did a student loans wiped out. Yes. Thank you for sharing that, Angela. Wow. See, it's happening, family. People are talking about it. Debts are being canceled as we speak. So I appreciate that. Somebody said that they had their debt erased, including a bankruptcy. Thank you, Gay Ron. I am. Oh, we appreciate you and I love you so much. Who is this? $50. Oh, Gigi gave us a super sticker. Let me see if I can find you, Gigi. I am so sorry I missed you. I got to get to you because I need to make sure I acknowledge everybody. Gigi, I don't see you. Gigi gave us, there she is, $50. Thank you so much for the super sticker. Family, I appreciate you all being here, sharing the good intel, the good energy with our soul family members. I thank you so much, Creator. Bless you, Gigi, for all the super stickers, super chats, donations, Cash App. And if you want to know, my Cash App is Mama Kia 13. That's MAMA KIA 13. So thank you so much because this is what I do. And I love it. I'm not sure how many zeros will be taken off the Zim. That's a great question. And I'm not even sure if it's going to happen for sure. Early rise, girl code. It's so good to see you. 2023, in my conclusion, will be a big year of whistleblowers because 2023, when you add up all those numbers, is equals number 7, which is the number of completion. Also in Hebrew, it's the year 5783. And that number actually, 5783, is actually represented by not by the number 3 and actually by the symbol or the letter Gimel, Gimel, in Hebrew. And that symbol or letter looks like a man walking, and he represents a benefactor or a humanitarian, but a benefactor walking towards people that he will help, people in need that he will help. So they call this in the Hebrew um actually the year of restitution. So you're going to see a whole lot of people who did bad things to us actually get, retribution. They get their compensation or their pay based on the nefarious acts that they did. So you're going to hear a lot of people coming out in 5783, which is also 2023, coming out, and they'll be destroyed and demolished and have to go to Gitmo, go to the clink clink, and actually get deleted. You're going to see probably more things coming out to the forefront, hopefully in EBS on this year. And at the same time, you're going to have what looks like a lot of prosperity online this year because, again, this is 5783 in a Hebrew year. And while it's the year of retribution, at the same time, that number 5783 is represented as a number 3, or the letter Gimel, Gimmel. Some people say Gimel. That letter looks like a man walking. And according to the tradition, that letter is a benefactor walking towards people in need. So this lets me know that 5783, this Hebrew year, is our time for us benefactors and humanitarians to walk towards all of humanity and help them that are in need. So this is going to be an amazing year. Thank you so much, Michelle. I am so happy you're here. Welcome all the new people. Please like the channel, share the channel, subscribe to the channel, share information, take clips from the video, whatever you need to do to get the information out there, because we want everybody to be wealthy. We want everybody to be sovereign. We want everybody to be joyful. Original Kings of Israel, the Afro-Americans less needs that funded. The world before the Nazis came, the Crusaders. Thank you, Healing Powers of Sleep. Feel free to go into detail. Send me what you're talking about at KiaPruitt.com. Kia Pruitt at gmail.com. Oh, we talked about your medical debt canceled. Am I a fan of XRP? Although I don't know much about it, I had a dream about it. I want to say it was, let me see if I can find something. It was probably 2 years ago. Hey, they're not letting me bring up something. I had a dream about it. I was trying to bring something up to you. And I don't know, it was like an angel just wrote out XRP. And I thought that was fascinating. So I was trying to bring up this podcast that I did with Mel Carmine from XRPQFS Team 1, but it's not coming up because of my internet is shady in the car. But you can look at that video. He talks about XRP, XLM, I think it's XLC, and digital assets, how to purchase them and how to put them in your possession by putting them in a nano ledger. So I'm not an expert in that area, but Mel Carmine is. You can support him by going to his channel, XRPQFS Team 1, and you can also look at the video that he and I did together. So, family, thank you, Gay Ron. I appreciate you so much. Family, I need to go. I do have a oops, I'm missing so many things. I do have a an appointment. That's beautiful. And I don't know what's going on with this internet, but we might be having some issues. Oh, your last month 2,400 after insurance. Hospital said it was erased. Thank you. Listen, look at all this good information. Somebody had, whoa, $60,000 of student loan debt canceled 2 years ago. Thank you for sharing this. So it's happening. That's Nasara in action, which will cancel the debt. I don't know if a silver certificate is valuable or not. I don't know either. So I just put my trust or faith in actual silver because I don't know about the silver certificates. Thank you, Lonnie. Somebody said they're canceled. They received debt cancellation. You canceled your own debt with the 1099. I know that's right. Thank you all so much. You're awesome. Dr. Kia, Google World Bridge currency. Oh, okay. Watch Forex. Thank you. The birth certificate slaves are removing the Vatican shackles to be debtors. Let's see. So I think we're almost done. Family members, I'm trying to get, oops, I'm trying to get all the questions. The Zimbabwe you can purchase at, thank you so much. Zimbabwe and some of these other currencies you can purchase at Great American Coin Company. 100 trillions, that's 100TRILLIONS.com, greatamericancoincompany.com, amazon.com, ebay.com, banknoteworld.com, and or you can just Google where to buy currencies. So I appreciate you, Ralph Engel. Gosh, you're so awesome, family. Thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the monetary blessing. I appreciate you. I love you all so much. You've been so wonderful to me. You've given me so much support, encouragement, love, and I'm so grateful for that. Will the new notes only be worth the new value, or will my current notes have the value? I don't know if you mean the exotic currencies. They're all being revalued now, so they'll be worth whatever that value is that's given to them based on the resources that each of those countries have. So the revaluing of currencies means that they restore the value of a country's currency based on the resources that each country has in its possession, which is why it was important for all of these countries to repatriate their gold back to them from the Vatican and from all these countries that has stolen it from them. So you have that gold, you have gold in the Grand Canyon, you have gold in different trusts. Ancient dynasties have all saved money, like your Saint Germain Trust, your Chinese ancient dynasties, your other ancient dynasties, your indigenous dynasties here in the Americas. They're all putting forth gold to help liberate humanity and help to revalue these currencies. Now, your United States dollar, you'll be able, when we return to our restored republic and to the gold standard officially, which we know has actually happened behind the scenes, you will be able to trade the USD one to one for the new currency that's now backed by gold. At least that's what I've been told. So I'm not a financial advisor. I'm giving you information based on what my mentors have told me, based on extensive research that I have done, and just based on actually making sure I align all of the sources together to put the pieces of the puzzle together. So again, I'm not a financial advisor, but this is the best I have to offer, as well as if you're interested in gold or any precious metals, contact Andy Scheckman, info@milesfranklin.com. He's been really, really good to us. He has great at customer service, ethics. All of his people that work for him are either family members or he's known them since high school. He has an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau, and he's just an overall wonderful guy. He's nice. He's kind. He's loving. He loves humanity. He's been screaming for decades that we needed to go. Get gold to support ourselves and to actually to maintain our wealth, because he says precious metals are wealth. And I'll end with this. The scripture says that a good man leaves an inheritance for his children's children, and the wealth of the wicked is laid up for the righteous. So a good man, a man that looks out in the future, and we talked about vision statements and mission statements for yourself, your family, and your businesses. A man and a woman that looks into the future leaves an inheritance for his or her posterity, generations, his children's children. You can leave wealth for your family by putting your fiat dollars, which are plummeting to zero, into precious metals or into other hard assets or commodities. You can also start these humanitarian projects, create trusts. A trust is a vehicle for you to park or to put your assets into so that nobody can touch them. And I have a video on trust on my channel too. So create trust, invest in silver and gold, because that is wealth. Also have some dollars on hand, because things are going to be liquidated. The housing market is going to crash. The stock market is going to crash, and things are going to plummet to zero. So if you have any dollars on hand, you'll be able to trade them again for the new United States dollar that's going to be backed by gold, and you will be able to buy land and houses and do all type of things by having liquid assets. So it's happening, family. The Iraqi dinar is revaluing. We have the word from Al Sudani, who is the new prime minister over there. The Vietnamese dong, I believe, is doing well. I'll do some research because people have asked me about that for you all. And I know that they were actually thriving. They were actually thriving during the global shutdown when everybody else was struggling. So, thank you so much. I need to email Mark Z. She said, this person, I'm sorry, Mandy Peterson says the original Mark Z showed my video from yesterday. So you're here to check out my channel. Hello, and thank you for all you do. Thank you. You're welcome. So please send Mark Z my love. I will give him he comes on at around 11, so I need to let you all go because we want to support his channel. Please go over to the original Mark Z. He has coffee with Mark Z, I think, in the mornings, and then wine and whiskey in the evening. I'm going to get out of here so you can support the channel. Thank you all who have come over here from different channels, different platforms. I love you. I appreciate you. Now, for those who can't go and support Mark Z, that would be amazing. And I'm going to email him so that we can do something together, because we are all in this space together. Oh, that's so awesome. I tell Mark I said I love him and thank you for being so amazing. And now he should be on about 11, right? Yeah, we need those med beds. So I love you too. The goodness that you see in me, the awesomeness, the high vibrations, and the energy that you acknowledge or recognize in me is actually the amazing, beautiful love and loving energy that you have yourself, because I, my darling, am a reflection of you. So go over to Mark Z's channel. I think he comes on around 11. Finally, yes, diversify into other currencies. I agree. Just to be safe, as well as gold and silver. Thank you for that advice. Somebody wants to buy a house with gold after the RV, no property taxes. There was a house in Cleveland that was purchased by gold, and we were trying to figure out why this house is protected. So nobody can fly over this house. Nobody can drive in that space, and that's because they bought it with gold. So that person owns the airspace above his house, as well as what's around him and what's underground. When I found that out, I said, that is pretty amazing. So Saint Germain and Rodriguez, those are trusts. Thank you, Lonnie, that will help offset the debt and help liberate humanity. It's hard making a decision to put the 401 into something other than fiat. Contact Andy Sheckman, info@andy.com, and he will answer any of your questions as it relates to putting your money or your IRA into precious metals. And the way he has it structured, he said, is he's working with other companies that will allow you to actually take some of that gold and silver into your possession, or you can just take the haircut, take the money out. This, I'm not a financial advisor, and yourself put it into precious metals. Yes, Emma had the bills paid in full. Somebody's investing in digital assets. I have to go, family. Cape Town, South Africa. I love you. Thank you. Let me just get this last. Mr. C is very real. Redemption Center. Mr. C is often, Mr. Cottrell, I think he's featured on Mark Z's channel. Mark talks about him. Go to Mark's channel right now. You can leave the chat. Please go support Mark. I think he's on around 11. I'll have to find out so I'll make sure I'm not going on at the same time as he. God bless you too, Creator. Bless you all. I love you. Yes, yes. Vibranium is actually found in Zimbabwe and Haiti. Wow. Wow. He's on now. Peace, family. We got to go. Go support Mark Z, the original Mark Z, or I think it might be coffee with Mark Z in the morning, and then in the evening, wine and whiskey. I love you. Stay encouraged. I hope I've said something to raise your vibrations and to inspire you to create the most amazing, most magnificent. Oh, Andy's on now. Life that you desire and deserve. I gotta go over to Mark Z and see Andy. That's my homeboy. I love me some Andy Sheckman. Please purchase gold or silver or gold IRA from Andy Sheckman. His company is Miles Franklin. Go to email him info@milesfranklin.com. Let him know that Dr. Kia Pruitt referred you, and you'll get the best prices in the industry. Gotta go. Go over to Mark Z. Love you. Peace. Bye. Make it a great day, family. Goodbye.